When we are talking about Job Nyangenya Omanga, that is a household name to AGR. But then there are few of my viewers today, or my listeners, who may not know who Job Nyangenya is. May you introduce yourself briefly to them?
Thank you, Mauro. Thank you. Until you, my name is Job Nyangenya Omanga, born and raised in a small village in Kenya called Nyakoiba, which is in Bomachoge Church constituency. I'm currently a resident of Denton County, where I work as a public health officer, and I'm a family man. I'm married and I have 4 kids, and I'm an aspirant of Bomachoge Church parliamentary seat come next year, 2022, in Kenya.
Before we go to, you said you are an aspirant, because we had hosted you earlier, and I know you also ran in the other, there is a time that you ran for a parliamentary seat. But
2017.
we are coming there. So okay. You talked about the DV program, and I know that this is the program that you have been running in your organization in Kenya. And most of my friends are some of the beneficiaries of that program. So what is this DV program?
Thank you. DV program, or commonly known as the Green Card, is a program where the government, the federal government of the United States of America, allows about 55,000 people every year to come to the United States of America legally. To come here, you can come here to work, study, live, gain your residency, gain your citizenship, and make a living in the United States of America. So it is a program that has been there since I think 1992, 2000, and personally I started helping people in 2012, and the people I've assisted so far are 144 who have managed to come to the United States of America. As a matter of fact, last year I applied for about 67 people. That's when I had the lowest number of applicants, because they changed the rules. You have to have the passport for you to apply for the green card. So a lot of people do not have the passports last year, and out of the 67 people that I applied for, 14 were able to win their green card, and we're on the process of making sure that they get access and come over to the United States.
And someone may ask, really tried to apply for this program. How is the application process, and what are the qualifications?
Thank you. The application is a free, fair process. Mm-hmm. This is where the government randomly chooses people who have applied. All you need to do is to make sure that you meet the minimum requirements. And the minimum requirement in Kenyan education system is a Form 4 certificate with a minimum grade of a D-. And once you have at least a D- and you have a Kenyan passport, you qualify to apply for the green card. You have to have the specific photograph that they need for you to apply for the green card. It's a 600 by 600 pictures picture. Yeah.
Wow. So this is a diversity visa program which is open to the public.
Yes, it is open to the public, and it's commonly called the green card.
You have talked about the changes that have been made, especially you have to have a passport
yes.
To apply. So that means those who do not have this time, they will not be allowed to apply.
When you are applying, it's a form you fill online, and you cannot be able to complete the form if you don't have the passport, because there is somewhere they ask you to enter the passport number, the expiration date, the country where it was issued, when it was issued, and all that. If you don't have that, you cannot be able to proceed with the application.
Some people may have asked the same question. I want to still go back to the question that, we have really tried several times. We have applied for this program. I have not qualified, or I've not been lucky to be chosen. So what message do you have for these people?
Winners and losers who never lost hope. And the losers are winners who lost hope. Don't lose hope, because there are a lot of people who have applied several times. I know a case of somebody who have applied since 2012, and last year he won. So he's in the process of during the process of filling his application, then I hope that next year also you'll be able to come to the United States of America.
Well, so it's a matter of consistency.
Yeah, don't lose hope. Keep on trying. You never know where your luck is, and most important, it is free, so you have nothing to lose applying.
When I was looking through the website, I saw that they are saying, you know, if you applied using a photo, not a recent photo that you applied maybe 2-3 years back, and if you are going to use it again, you might be disqualified. So are there any other conditions that may disqualify somebody?
First of all, the picture is a big deal. The picture, they say it has to be at least 6 months old. So they need a recent photo, because a picture loses quality as it ages. So make sure you have a quality picture. The picture is symmetrical. That is, like your two eyes are able to be seen, your 2 ears are able to be seen. You don't wear a cape or something like that, and that's what they need.
And the background
has to be white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
has to be white.
Yes.
So then another thing I saw is that this time they are not sending through the post office.
It is through the email.
So
address.
somebody must have an email.
You have to have an email address, and what is very important here to say is that once you have applied, or if somebody has helped you to apply, make sure you keep your confirmation number, because what has happened before is a situation where somebody applies for you, he or she keeps the confirmation number. He is the one who will be checking for you, because he has all the control, and if he or she realizes that you have won, he will start asking you for money, which you might not be able to have, and you might lose your opportunity to come. So keep your confirmation number.
And actually that is a follow-up question I wanted to ask next, because so many people the people have won this DV program, and then if I happen to fill this form for somebody and somebody won, then I tend to keep his information so that at least I can harvest it from him. If I applied for you, you won, I need some money at least for you to compensate me, for me to release the case number. These cases are so rampant, so I don't know, in such a scenario, what do we need to do?
That has been a very common challenge people face, and that's why I'm telling people, always make sure that you keep your confirmation number. The green card application is free of charge, but if you go to a cyber cafe and somebody is helping you, you have to pay for the internet and maybe for his service, he or her services to help you apply, which normally we do it for free ourselves. But if they charge you about $200, that's $2 to $5, that's okay. Then you keep your confirmation number so that they don't have control over your luck next year.
So the only part the thing is that whenever somebody has your case number, you pay, and then he keeps it.
It is not the case number at this time. You have a confirmation
number.
Oh,
confirmation number.
Then after you have been selected, that's when you will be having the case number, which is what they will not give you. So make sure you have the confirmation number. You keep it, because the process right now is ongoing till next month, November 9th, and then the results will be out next year, May.
So these websites that people are asking you to pay before they apply, or maybe you apply and then they tell you you're gonna pay, so they are not the right websites.
The website, the government, the federal government website is dvrotary.government, you know, GOV. That's the one that you can apply by yourself.
Okay.
Or if you go to the cyber, you just pay for the internet and you apply for yourself if you have all that is required.
Okay, it's a good thing that I've realized, you know, it's good to be appreciative, to give a small appreciation for the service that you receive. But it's not per se to say that you have to pay for the application.
No, the green card application is absolutely free.
Wow. I think then before the deadline, people need to go online and make those applications, because
it's important to say this on TV. You know, I came to this country personally and I asked God, if I get an opportunity to come here, and I've said this before, I'll be able to give back to the community. So this is an opportunity I got, first of all, to help people, or to help my people back in Kenya. And number two, it's an opportunity I got that has helped me to develop all round, academically, socially, and all round. So it's a good opportunity, and I don't want to say that that opportunity is only found in the United States. There are people who will want to go to other countries, and they can go there. So this is the information for those ones who want to, or who have a dream to come to United States of America. But I'm not saying that everybody should come to United States. Not everything is meant for everybody.
As well, you know, coming to this country has its advantages and disadvantages. But those people who have not come and who could wish to come, what do you tell them?
Well, what I want to say is that anywhere or anything you want to venture in this world has challenges, and you have to be prepared for challenges, both socially and even financially. It does not mean that when you are in the United States, life is just a ride in the back.
Whenever I want to fast forward and see somebody has been selected among the 500,000, you say?
55,000.
55,000, somebody has been selected, and then this person, take me through the process. From there, what happens?
Once you have won the green card, that's when you have been selected. Now you have the case number, and the case numbers are from 1 to 55,000. Then now you will fill form 260 online. You respond back, you know, they confirm it's you, you start the process. Then you will go and do your medical checkup in whichever country you will be. After that, they will schedule you for an interview at the embassy of your respective country of residence at that time. And after you go for the interview, you have to pay the fee. It is about $700. If once you pay that money, which is non-refundable, then they give you the visa. When you are going to the embassy, you have to get somebody residing in the United States of America to give you his or her tax returns now. That one was not there. But now you have to get the tax returns of somebody who resides in the United States of America. And we have always given our people our tax returns so that they can be able to use it. So, and somebody should be willing to host you when you come. It is important for me to say this. You cannot win a green card and come to the United States of America if you don't have somebody who is going to host you. Because sometimes people think the government will come and they give you free house, free food, free accommodation and all that. No, you have to have somebody to host you till you become stable in the United States.
I may be having relatives that's supposed to having the visa now. Maybe I'm looking for somebody to host me. I may be having relatives and they are not able to host me. And another thing you have talked about is tax returns. And we know this is personal information which we do not release easily to anybody. And therefore, if maybe there is a cutoff. Is there a cutoff that they say, you know, if you made like 10,000 in returns last year, you are not able to host somebody?
Not necessarily. You know, there are people who can make 100, 200,000, but still they cannot be able to host you. I think the tax returns is something that they're using, first of all, to verify that you are a taxpayer in the United States. You have a place where you are staying in the United States, and they can be able to verify that you can be able to host somebody here. Two, that's a personal information you are releasing to somebody. Anybody who is getting that information, first of all, should be very thankful to the person giving him or her this tax returns information. Because you are giving information with your social security number, with your address, with how much money you make a year, and all that. So this is not something, sometimes that's why people don't want to host people. Because you don't want to release that kind of information. Not because you're not capable of, but you don't want people to know your information.
So you say that whenever somebody comes to this country, he does not expect the government to feed that person, because the mentality of some of the people is that, once I reach there, I'm given a free house, a free car, everything for free. I can even walk on the road and get some money. Is that the reality on the ground?
Of course, that's not true, and that's the information I'm trying to. I've hosted people in my house, more than 100 people since I started. A lot of people have gone through my house, and you are responsible when you are hosting somebody. You are responsible to make sure that they get their driver's license, so that's like their ID, to get the social security number, because it will come through your address, and basically you are the one who's going to take care of these people until they become stable, they get a job.
That means you have to...
The government does not look for a job for you. The government is not going to give you accommodation. Otherwise, if you tell them that you don't have accommodation at the embassy, they will not give you a fees. Yeah.
So basically, whenever somebody comes here, then you have to alter your schedule so that you can fit into that person's schedule for you to take him to driver's place, driver's license, a social security side thing.
You are not necessarily going to change your schedule to fit his or her schedule, because your schedule is already determined and fixed. You only have to sacrifice and make sure that this person has the basic requirements that will make him or her start life.
The key word is there, you're going to sacrifice.
Yes.
Rarely do people recognize your sacrifice, and within a short time, people tend to maybe run away, get other friends and do other things, and eventually somebody says, oh, Job wasn't a good man, although he was telling me this is what he did to me. So what advice can you give such people who do such?
That's a common thing. Not
also
here,
is common.
Not here in America, but anywhere in the world. But it is not even the fault of the people who do that. It's because they don't know. So in due time, they'll come to know the truth, that you indeed sacrificed for them. So you do the right thing and keep moving.
Wow.
And whoever is coming, let him more know that you are really sacrificing for them.
One last question. Are there other advantages or something unique that you found in this country that would encourage somebody to really try hard to come here?
Well, as I said, everybody has a dream. You have a dream to be a doctor, you have a dream to be a pilot, you have a dream to be a farmer. You have to know where to chase your dream to. This is a country where a lot of opportunities are readily available, unlike where we come from, where opportunities are very scarce. So if you want to go to school in this country, you will, and become whatever you want to become. If you want to get job opportunities without a struggle, they are here. So it is up to an individual. There are people who will not want to come to the United States, which is okay. And if they don't want to come to the United States, what I would encourage them, pursue your dream persistently. So you asked me, is there anything? Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities in the United States.
Is the DV, Diversity Visa Program, is that the only way somebody can come here, or there are other programs?
There are a lot of ways you can come to the United States. You can come as a visitor, visiting. You can come as a student. You can come as a missionary. You can come as a patient. There are many ways you can come to the United States. You can come through HGR, But coming with the green card is the only way you will come to America, and you get the social security number, which will allow you to work as much as you want for any job you qualify. But when you come as a visitor, you don't qualify to work. When you come as a student, you don't qualify to work for some time, and then when you start qualifying to work, you qualify to work a specific amount of hours and all that. There are restrictions, but when you come with a green card, you don't have restrictions. Actually, as a green card holder, as a matter of fact, you have all the privileges the American citizens have, except the privilege to vote.
Finally, I know you're going to give your final word to those who want to try their luck, but at the same time, there are people who have tried tooth and nail to come to US. Several times they have gone to embassy, they have not come, they have failed, and they really want to come, but it is difficult for them. The embassy has not allowed them to come. What is your message to them and to those who are going to apply again?
The message, it is not the embassy which has not allowed them to come. It is their time has not come. Let them lose hope. Let them not lose hope, because their time is coming. Remember, there is a guy in the Bible who was told to go to River Jordan and wash. Is it Elisha or what that? It was blind. I was a blind man. He was told to go and wash your eyes 7 times. Naaman. If Naaman could have lost hope at the 5th time, he could not see. So don't lose hope. Keep on trying. The beauty of it, as I said, it is free. Who knows? Those ones who really want to come, don't sit, because if you don't apply, you have 0 chances of coming. But if you apply, you have 50% chances of coming. Wow. At least you know you will come, or you will be waiting. But don't wait if you have not applied.
Wow, thank you so much. He who has never failed has never tried. That's Nyangenya Job Omanga with a wonderful, great information, and I hope that you have gotten these pieces of information to be of great importance to you. Therefore, go to the government website at the same time. Oh, you know, you didn't tell them where they go to apply in your office, maybe where they can get those services for free.
We have I have a team of young people in my constituency who are moving around, taking pictures of people and helping them to apply. But it's important for you to know that you can go and apply for yourself at any cyber. You can do it by yourself. You keep your confirmation number. That way you know you have everything done by you, and if you need it to be done right, I'm always there to advise, and I know there are other people out here who knows this information, and they're more than willing to help.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. Nyangenya, it's not the first time, it's not the last time. We're going to still keep on troubling you so long as you are there, so that you can be giving us such wonderful pieces of advice and information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, listeners. Thank you, my viewers. This is AGR News. I'm Jeremiah Orina Until.